Everyone, so after a while I'm back, and today we are going to implement info box in the tutorial screen. So as you remember, we have done this screen, but with a little bit of changes. So actually we have done this one. Then now we are going to design tutorial screen, so which has a one part, and there is an info box also. So in this part we're gonna only work on this info box, and the next tutorial or in the next video we are gonna work on the part with the animation. So let's start. I have made some changes offline, so let's go through them first. So we're gonna have more time, and it's gonna be a shorter video for us. So let me start with let's start with exploring the whole project. What I've done is I've added navigation. I used compose navigation, so nothing very new. If you don't know how compose navigation works, so there are many documents if you search it, and there are many videos also out there. We just wanted, in this video we're going to focus only on how to use Google Gemini and GitHub Copilot, and how to have the info box with animation. So let me explain one thing here. When you click on the next, so nothing should change except this box should go away to the left, and the next box should come from the right, like a sliding, like a view page here that we had. But here we are going to try it with compose animation and Google Copilot and GitHub Copilot and Google Gemini. So let's start with exploring the project that we have. So let's start from application. Application is empty, there's nothing over there. So we have main activity. Here I have tried to set up the navigation, create a navigation actually in the setting. So I'm creating a navigation, then afterward we're having Egg Master app. So Egg Master app is the function, or is a composable function that can handle all the navigations that we have with animation. So as you can see, we have added animation, custom animation here for the navigation that we have, and we have predefined different screens that we are going to have. So if we go to the screen, you can see that we have, let me just close this one, it is not necessary. If we go here, we can see that we have a class, and inside of that we have a data object which is intro, and this is the root name of this screen, and under intro screen we're gonna have a splash and tutorial. And in the main tree we are going to have the main screens, which is gonna be boiling detail, boiling timer, and boiler finish. So when you skip this screen tree, so we are going to totally remove it from the navigation, and you're gonna be here. So this one gonna be displayed only once, that's why we have two. Let me go through the packages that we have. We have components. In the components, I'm going to just put all the general composable functions that we have, which, for example, here we are having the button, which we're going to use everywhere else as well. And after component, we are having a splash as a package, which means all the component which is related to splash screen, and the splash screen itself is here. So not much modification here. And we have tutorial already prepared, everything is here. So here we are going to have the information cards, and this is the boiling part, which we are going to do it in part 3. And on the top we are going to have page indicator, as you can see here. So the result will be a little bit different than what we have here, but we're gonna see. And we have theme, I mean this is not new also. Okay, that's it. Let me run the application, so and we can see how it is currently. So if I run the application, we're gonna see this screen that we have implemented in the previous video. If you click, it's gonna smile. If you don't, it's gonna wink. If we click on the let's start, so let's start. One thing I have to add here, it's gonna be changed to this design which I came up. It's gonna be nicer, be much more understandable than this, and it is not bold enough, so user won't understand. Some user may not understand that it is a button. So I'm going to change it to this after, but not in this video. So if I click, I'm gonna go to the tutorial screen, which currently is empty. Okay, so let's start with how we can implement this screen with help of Google Gemini. So we're going to have this info box implemented by Google Gemini. I'm going to use Google Gemini for this purpose. And let's see what we do have here. So we have this screen, right? This is the screen that we want. And by clicking on the next button, we want it to be changed to this one, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give this design to the Google Gemini, and I'm gonna ask it to just design it with implement it with Jetpack Compose, right? So let's do that. But before starting that, let me go to the tutorial info screen components and information cards. Here we have some tips. So what we're gonna do, we have to use the command prompt to ask Google Gemini to give us what we need, and it is important that we have to keep all these rules. For example, it's the command prompt that we are going to give it to Google Gemini should be very simple. Google Gemini or any other AI chatbot. So it should be clear and concise. We have to have brief description of the visual elements or functionalities if it is required. And for example, here we can see code snippet for a button with rounded corners and a gradient background in Jetpack Compose. And the third one is include mentioning specific Jetpack Compose components. For example, if you want to use some specific components, you have to tell it in the command prompt itself, so it's going to be easier to achieve the same thing. For example, here, code snippet for a lazy column with custom item layout in Jetpack Compose I've mentioned. And at the end, we are going to also attach the design image. The main reason that we are not using Google, we're using Google Gemini and not GitHub Copilot, is that GitHub Copilot is text-based, so both input and export it's gonna work only with the text. So you cannot just upload any images or anything like that to GitHub Copilot. That's why I'm using Gemini. And the other thing about OpenAI or ChatGPT is that for ChatGPT 3.5 it is not updated, so they don't have all the latest information. I guess the latest update is 2021, so it is far not updated compared to the Gemini. But if you have ChatGPT upgraded, then it means that you can use ChatGPT 4, and ChatGPT 4 is very much updated. I'm not going to pay ChatGPT since Gemini is for free here for us. I'm gonna use Gemini itself. As we have mentioned, we are going to give first we have the command here. This is the command that I'm gonna ask the Gemini to implement this design. Please write me a code snippet for the info component design in Jetpack Compose. Consider using box with rounded corners. I'm gonna use this command prompt right here, and as well I'm going to add the design itself, right? Okay, I'm gonna put the design. Let me tell you something here before just starting, so before submitting, the thing is that the answer always can be a little bit different. That's what you expected. So it is with all the chat bots, it's always like this. So always they're gonna have a slightly different answers you're gonna get. It is important that after getting the result, after getting the code, we have to explain, we have to try to explain what we need and make the changes in a way that we want. So it is not always straightforward, just put the command prompt and add the design and go ahead. No, it is not like that. We have to also sometimes explain more or change a little bit, or even with the Gemini you need some changes regarding to, like, the code wouldn't work much, it wouldn't work easy, so you have to make some changes. With Copilot it's like almost 99% of the time it's like the code that you get from the Copilot, it is the best and it works without any changes, but it is not the same for this Gemini. Let me just send the command prompt and see what would be the results. So before this I have prepared also, what we need and everything regarding to that. Here we are trying to just see how we can use this Google Gemini. So we have copied the code that we have from the Gemini, but it is a very simple implementation. So I'm just using it to explain how to use Gemini. So that's the only purpose here. So okay, let's go with the box. I'm gonna change everything here. So I'm not gonna follow what this guy is asking me. So instead of info card, I'm going to go with information card, right? And now we are having a box, and in the box we need a modifier, right? So that what I need. So for example, padding I need to have with a dimension of the dimension that I need. I have to double check what dimension. Padding padding X large I need to have, right? So what else do I need is that, so for I needed to fill max width, so wanted to just fill the whole the width of the screen, and I need to have background, which gonna be color equal to not much. I'm not gonna use the white color without any complexity here, and I'm going to have white, adding one more padding. No, I don't need another padding. Oh, I need two padding. Yes, one padding should be like this, one padding should be like padding normal. Okay, now we are having two padding because as you can see in the design, there's one padding here and I need one padding here. I don't want to just the width just get the full screen width. I need a little bit of space over there. So what we have here with just one thing, I don't want to this guy to get more than like some specific amount of the screen width. That's why I'm going to use width in, right? There's a width. Let me see, width. Yeah, it is here. So the max I want it to be 350 exactly. I don't want to get a whole the screen. Let me just close this part, and oh, we don't have any preview here. Better to have a preview, but anyway, we don't need this code. We got some like Gemini we can use to find out, for example, what different way of implementing a design would be. For example, here we are having a box, and instead of that we have a text, but what we need is like a text, and after that we need to have a button, right? So it's gonna be a little bit different. So we have this guy, and now we have content alignment. What is this? Content alignment to be aligned center align center horizontally, right? No, I mean this should be on center, right? And that's it. And inside, what we need to have is a column to have two things. One would be the text, the other would be the button, right? The button that we need. Perfect. And inside of the button, definitely we need another text. So my face is here, but what I need to do, I'm going to add a preview. It's gonna be fun. So as you can see, we have information card preview, material theme, information card, and we are passing the text that we need, and it is rendering for us. But still, I'm not going to have this as a input. I'm going to have it here, something like this. And I'm going to remove this guy. Right, so we have also the preview here. So let me see. So we have the column, we have a text. We need to change some like a text should be aligned. I'm going to add text aligned to the center. Okay, something is wrong. Okay, what else do we need? We need to have the color also. This is the color that I'm going to use. Let's format the code, and after this, definitely we want some spacer, right? And we are going to use modifier dot padding dimension normal, right? And now we are adding one space here. So what more thing that we need to have is having this horizontal alignment as well. So it's gonna be almost like what we need here, right? So the text is not there. I'm going to add a text here, button, but what button am I using here? Oh, this is the compose button that I'm using, but I want to use the button that is for me. We have this one, which is the one that we need. I'm going to remove this guy and going to do this. The text gonna be next. Oh, do you accept? Okay. Let me just do something. Okay, button. Okay, we have on click, which is for the compose and material design. This is for our project. I'm gonna use this one. This doesn't make sense. Why this does it didn't add the next? Yes. Okay. Let me see the design. Oh, it's not possible because I have missed a bracket here. Am I? It should be fine now, right? Yes. Let me double check. Yes, we have the next button right here, exactly in a way that we need, right? So everything looks like there. We have the text, we have a design. And the only problem is that the shape that we have in hand is not rounded, right? I'm going to have another box on the top. So I'm going to modifier dot fill max width. and I'm gonna have this guy here. Sometimes this GitHub Copilot isn't helping, and it is also making some problem. And what else I need to have is the content alignment to be the center again. So we have this box inside of another box. So currently we can, this white box can go to the left with the animation, and it's gonna be in a way that we want it to be, right? For the next is, I forgot to add one thing, which is the rounded corner. I'm gonna use the clip. I have shapes already, right? And I'm gonna use the large one, right? So if we go to the shapes, we have medium, small, and large, and now we have in a way exactly that what we wanted. Perfectly perfect. Now it's the time. It is a time for the next step. Let me go to the comments that we have. Now we're going to add the animation with the Copilot. So for the first step, I'm gonna use this command. I'm gonna click here on a box that I need, and I'm gonna go to the GitHub Copilot, and I want 3 of this box. So let me see how it is going to give me these 3 boxes. So the way that it has used is this, which I don't want it, right? So what I want to do is I'm gonna go with the for the for loop index equal to index in is exactly what I need, but I'm going to remove this guy and put one more bracket at the end, right? So currently we are having 3 of the same box, right? So also this is correct, but this is not what I wanted. Can you put it in for loop? Let me see if this guy can. Yeah, almost the same thing, but it is it has extracted this composable function to do that, but I don't want to get one more composable function here. It is already a very, very small composable function, so I don't want to do this. And now it is the time to click on the box that I need, and for the next command prompt I'm gonna ask only the first box should be visible at a time, and by clicking the next button, the second box should be visible, right? So when we click, the first one should go out and the second one should come in. I'm gonna ask this guy, let's see what would be the answer. It says, let's wait for a moment. Okay. It says to achieve this, you can use a state variable to keep track of the current visible box. When the next button is clicked, you can increment this state variable to show the next box. Here is how you can modify your information card function. So let's take a look at the changes and compare it to what we have, right? So we have, so it has added this state, which is current box, and if the current box is equal to the index that we have in the for loop, we gonna display it, right? Otherwise we are not gonna do or render anything. It looks like exact what we need. And now I'm going to click here and insert this code, blah. So we need to have the imports also. We have the inputs and we have changed it with this guy. One more change, replace with int value. Okay, I mean this is even I can use by, but I will make it easier, but I don't want to do that. And the main reason is that I'm going to have all this logic in my view model, not here like on the floor. So I have info text, info button text, as well. So info text and info body text, let me go here. So for the info text, we are going to have, for the first one, it's going to be always put the eggs into boiling water. Then it's going to be fully covered. When you click on the next button, it's going to be fully covered with it. Then when you the next would be piercing the egg, blah, blah. And the buttons is almost the same except the last one. The last one should be start, so user can go and start to add what user wants. And we don't need these comments anymore here. I'm going to remove, right? So now I'm going to use info text. So info text, we do have a text here, hello text. Now I'm going to use the string that I have in my resources, right? It's gonna be much easier. I'm gonna go local context, definitely. Yes, it knows, right? It knows what we need and it gives us what we need. The button, oopsie, it's fine. We can survive with this logic here for now. And for the button, I guess, yes, again, we have the code thanks to the GitHub Copilot. All this auto completion is coming from Copilot. Genius. Let's run the app and see how it is working currently. I'm gonna use this information card and I'm gonna uncomment this. We don't have any state. I'm gonna go with this way, like this, and information cards. I'm going to rename this guy to this, right? Yes, now we do have it. Let's run the application and see how it is working or not working. So we have the first text. When we click, we have the second text. When we click, we have the third one. And the button text has also changed beautifully and not painfully. What the heck? So this is it. For the next step, oh my god, I have done something bad which I shouldn't. Get it right here, not here. Yes, here we have the comment. What it says is this: by clicking on the next button, the current box should go out of the screen to the left and the next should come in from the right. This is the animation that we need. I'm going to click on the box that I'm going to apply this animation on. I'm going to the Copilot, add the command and enter. Let's see what result it's gonna give us. Oh my god, it is giving us the result with animated visibility, which I don't want to. I need to have, so I'm going to ask, I need to have more control over my animation. Can you rewrite this with animate as state? Let me see if I ask it this way, what's gonna happen. Sure, you can use animate as a state to have more control over your animation. Here's how you can modify your information cards function to use animation state. Ooh, this is painful. Oh, so no, this is not that painful. I'm not very much happy with the result. So it has added offset, jargon moving to the next card, moving to, even we have a comment here, right? Even we have different animation spec here, which is amazing. And I'm just trying to find out where this guy has used. So we have offsets. Oh yeah, option is right here, 1000 GP else 1000 GP. I'm not happy with this result, so because of that I'm gonna go and do it by myself. Okay, why not? So what we need to do first is to animate these info box to the left and add the next info box. To do that, what we need is, first of all, we need to screen width, right? Screen, if I write screen width, most probably it's gonna give me the screen width, but it doesn't. Local configuration, current width, right? This is, now we are having a screen width exactly. We knew from where to where we can do this animation. So here we are trying to add the animation. We don't need this indexing anymore, right? Because whatever it is, we don't need this condition anymore, because we're going to not display if the index is not correct with the animation itself. So let's go and start val. We have val offset equal to, so what we are going to use, we're going to use animate dp as a state, right? Beautifully. So I'm trying to change the offset with the animation according to the index that the current index I mean. So let's do this as in, and here target state would be when, okay, exactly. I guess I'm gonna import this. I'm gonna add a label. So we need to have a label always. I'm gonna label it like offset animation, right? We have this, and we are going to format the code. We don't need this guy for now. And it says this way. So if index is less than the current box value, then we are going to have it not in the screen, otherwise we're going to have it in the screen. If it is like it goes to the left, this one goes to the right, this one would be in the center. Now easily we can add and use this offset with offset itself. It says x equal to the offset. Okay, so if equal to the offset. So now animation should work. Let me try it out and see how it is. We have this. Yes, it is working perfectly in a way that we needed. What is the next step? So far we have added this animation manually. It's gonna be easier for Copilot to add the next animation. I want to change the animation for this box. So I do already have offset animation for this box. Now I want to add alpha animation as well. Can you do it? Right, so we're going to ask GitHub Copilot. Sure, you can add alpha animation to your box composable. You can use the animation float as state, right? Literally the same that we have. Even the label is here. And where did this guy use this alpha? And he has used the alpha right here. Let's add let's import this alpha. Let's use this as well. Now it's gonna goes away. If the current is 1, exactly what we need is the current is the one that we need, then the alpha would be 1, otherwise it's gonna be 0. See, it is moving quite fast, so we're not able to see what it is, what is happening. I'm going to add animation spec to make it slower. Animate animation spec tween, I'm gonna use it, right? And let me see, duration would be 500, and I'm gonna use easing as linear out, slowing in, easing. Okay, so it's gonna make it if we go here, we can have the explanation. Incoming elements are animated using declaration easing, which starts a transition at a peak velocity. The fastest points of elements movements and the ends at rest. This is equivalent to annual linear out slow in interpolator, right? Again, exactly what we need. We need to add the same thing to the spec of the alpha, and it knows we're going to add. I do like to always use labeling. Let me try it out and see how it is now. You see, this is beautiful. If we wanted to have it 5 seconds is a lot. Let's go with 2 seconds and see exactly what is happening. See, the animation is happening beautifully, at least in a way that we need. We're gonna change this. So now we're gonna ask, can you scale down a bit when the box is going out of the screen? So now I'm going to add the scale animation to make it a little bit smaller, right? So it feels more natural, right? The box is going down, it's gonna scale down a little bit, it's gonna be pretty. We are going to use a scale, and we're going to use this guy. We do have the scale here, and we're going to use the scale also here. Easy peasy, thanks to the Copilot. Let's rerun and see what is happening here. There is a problem. They are going to apply, I guess, let me try. I mean, it is applying under, I mean, it is going to be scaled down, but not in a way that I wanted it. Oh yes, now I moved this alpha and scale to the top, so we're gonna have it for the whole box. So before changing the background or before any other of these, so this is more realistic. Let me try it out again. See, it is beautiful. I liked it. Amazing. So at this step, what we need to do is to have this logic of the current box and this stuff into the view model, and as well having controlling the back button. When we press back button, it shouldn't goes to the intro. For example, if I go one more inside, when I press the back button, it should go back only one of these info. I mean, the reverse animation should happen here. I already have the, let me just close all of these people. Let's go to the view model. I have the view model here. View model is used here in the main activity. It has been injected by Hilt, right? And now it is the time to have this view model and handle it here. I'm going to pass this egg master app, the view model, and the UI state here. So now it's the time to have the UI state. So like animation is done, info box is there, everything regarding to those is 100% done. Now it's time to create all the thing that we need. Data class. So we need, first of all, we need UI state exactly this way. Intro current step. Oh, what is intro current step? I'm gonna rename it after. It's gonna be tutorial current step, right? Drop egg. This is not required, but I'm gonna keep it. So the drop egg is for the time that we need to drop the egg. So at the first there is no egg, at the second we need to have the egg itself, right? So UI state, now we do have it. We have also to pass this drop state and this UI state to the UI that we have. Okay, and also what I need to do is having internal state. So I need to have internal state, and the reason for that is I'm going to keep one internal state for the view model and one UI state which I'm going to expose it to the UI model. UI totally, not UI model, right? And what else do I need? I need to have a sealed class like this. I'm gonna name it view action, which gonna have a data object intro next pressed. When we click on the next button, data object again, intro previous pressed. So when we click on the next button, and from the view I need to call this action, and when we press the back button we need to call the previous pressed action, right? We also need one more for controlling the whole navigation. I'm going to use the activity. It means that I have to have view event here, right? So if you don't understand this part, it is fine. Just when I finish everything, it's gonna be much more easier to understand. View event, event, right? And here we are going to have data object again, go or navigate back, right? Data object. Now we need to have open not tutorial, open next page, I'm gonna call it. So this is when I want to press the back button. This is when I'm at the end, and a start button is there, or let's open next or open start, whatever. We're gonna rename it, so that's gonna be fine, no problem here. So what do we need to have here? We need a dispatcher, right? So through the dispatcher that I'm going to define, and the client gonna have access to dispatch action, right? So dispatch, okay, what is it? It's gonna be action, it's gonna be view action, right? And now we are going to have go back and go forward. Before doing that, I'm going to have these two functions which gonna be on intro next pressed, private, on intro previous pressed, right? So we do have both of these functions. Now if I go here, exactly, I need this, I need to call them accordingly, but what we have to change before that, I need to define private val view event, which gonna be the view event that I'm going to use. Channel view event, the channel, right? I'm gonna use channel for this, so we can interact with the view from the view model easily without any complication. Here I'm going to expose this view event. So they're gonna have access to this from the view. And now it's for the view state, right, which gonna be for review state, it's gonna be internal state, right? I'm gonna have internal state here inside of my view model, and whatever we whenever we wanted to change this one, we can change it right here, and it's gonna be fine. There shouldn't be any problem. Now what we need to do is to create a view state like this. Do we have a UI state? Yes. Okay. So I'm gonna explain what we are doing here. I'm not gonna have this guy here. So we have the internal state. Whenever internal state is going to be changed, we're going to generate the view state. And for that, I'm going to have private fun and generate UI state, right? And I'm going to have this, and here we are going to map from internal state to generate to the UI state, internal state, and it's gonna be state in view scope, and the default would be, so what it is like the coroutine scope. It's gonna be view model, and it is going to be shared, and also the initial is the UI state without any changes, which would be this, like the 0 step, and so on and so forth. Perfectly fine. Now it is time to add the logic for going to the next or coming back from the next. Okay, if current steps is 2, right, what we have to do, we have to, I guess this should be right. For this I need to have, so here we are trying to send event. So if it is 2, it means that I'm going to open the next page, which we don't have it currently. And if it is not, it means that we are going to increase the current step, right? This should be fine, and same should be here, right? So the current step, we are getting the current step. If it is equal 0, it means that we have to navigate back. Otherwise, we have to decrease the current step, right? This is the logic that we are having inside of the information cards, which is this one. We're gonna replace this. So everything is ready, view model is ready. Now we can pass the view state definitely to the view that we have. Let me go to the main screen, main activity. Here we need to have a private function to to observe view event, right, that we have. Okay, so it is like, so here we have the view event, and if the view event is coming down next page, then we're gonna go to the next, otherwise we're gonna go back. And let's go in before all, we're gonna start observing the view event, and after we are going to have this state by view model, right? And we need to pass this view state to the component that we have, which is here, right? So also here we can already start to add the logic for going to the, so for example, for this it's gonna be on back press dispatcher, on back pressed. When it presses the back button, we are going to be to the previous screen. I'm trying to handle the navigation, the back button, and also I'm trying to move the logic to the view model, which gonna make it much easier, right? So we have this guy here, and we have the view model, and we don't need to pass this guy. The reason is that view model we already passed, right? So view model is already here. We are not going to duplicate. So if we go here, so we already have this guy, and again here we are going to collect the changes to the state, and same thing here. Information, we are going to pass view model and this guy, so which we can add it this quickly. If I go here, we have the state and we have the view model. So it is not required to pass the view model this far, but since we are using dispatcher, it's gonna be fine. View model, right? Oopsie. View model dot dispatch next step, because it is a view action, right? It is not next step, it is intro next pressed, right? And this guy doesn't have any clue, which it's fine. I'm going to remove this guy. So it could have been a callback. I'm gonna change it to callback, but for now I'm gonna keep it like this. So now this logic would be gone, and it's gonna be a state that and it's gonna be the state that we have in the current step, and you don't need anything else, right? So yes, here I'm going to replace this guy, and here I'm going to replace this guy, and it should work out of the box. I mean, the navigation shouldn't work, but the logic currently is on the view model, and it should be fine. Let's just try it out. Oh, come on. Okay. Yes, it is working. It is working. So we need to have let's just do a very small refactoring here. I'm not going to pass this guy. I'm just going to pass the current step. Okay, let's do it after. Let's finish the navigation also, then we're gonna do the refactoring. I don't want to break the code and just go and try to find the bug. So let's do one step at the moment, right? If I go here, this is the only place which we do have view model, state, and the navigation controller. So this is the best place to handle the back button. So we're gonna need this back handler. Whenever user clicks on the back button, we're gonna have this guy, and here we are going to have view model dot on Jesus view model dot dispatch view action dot on the previous. So we are going to call this, right? And now it should work. Whenever user clicks on the back button, we're gonna pass it through. Let me see. If I click on the back, yes, it is working as expected until here. Now, at this step, we need the default behavior of the back button. Because of that, this guy can accept enabled. So we have to tell when we are in tutorial screen steps, we're gonna use this back handler, otherwise we don't want to use it, right? So what I can do is current screen tutorial. I'm gonna have this guy, and I'm gonna have nav controller dot current back stack entry dot, it should be like, oh, entry dot flow, right, because it's always changing, and collect as a state. The initial would be null, means we don't care. If it is not there, then we don't care. Then if it is not, then we need the value. Okay, we can't see anything. Let me close this one. Then we need the value, then the destination, and everything else. Okay, so if the destination route is tutorial from the screen, then this is what we need, right? It should work out of the box. Oh, there's one more step which I was going to miss. It should be if it is state dot and I cannot see anything. So let me explain what is happening here. Let's go here. So here we are listening to the backstack, right? Whatever changes happens, we're gonna listen. Now here we are going to collect them. Here we are going to get the value out of it if it is not null. Then if the current screen is the tutorial, then we are going to check, right, if it is not the first step. If it is first step, then we need the default behavior of the back button, right? If I go here, if I click back, it's gonna work, and now it's amazing. So when we are at step 3, we don't need the default behavior. We need to just change the index, right? So we are changing it. And when we are at the first step, by clicking on this, it should do the default behavior. It means that this backhandler is gone. I'm gonna make it a little bit, so handle tutorial screen back button. I'm gonna name it like this. There is a thing here. It says, oh, somehow it is a composable because of this guy is composable, so it's fine, right? And what else do we need to do? I'm gonna do some small refactoring. For example, if you see here on intro, I'm gonna change it to intro tutorial, right? And I'm gonna go here, I'm gonna do the same here. It's gonna be tutorial, because at first I wanted to name it as an intro, but I was like, it's gonna be very confusing, so not go with the better name and more meaningful name, intro instead of intro. I'm gonna go with tutorial. The whole screen name was intro, and I've named it, oopsie, yes, also here tutorial, and also here tutorial, right? This is done, everything works fine so far. One thing that I wanted to do a lot is this dot dispatch, and instead of action, view action, then it's gonna be next pressed, right? Now we have this, instead of just sending again the view model. And even I'm thinking, so we can also, instead of passing the view model here, we can also have this as a callback, but I mean, let's do it for later. If it is required, maybe we need more control over this view model thingy, so I don't want to have many callbacks here, so I'm gonna keep it like this for now. but for this state I want the same state dot tutorial step. Just pass the tutorial step, please, nothing more or less. So it's gonna be, what is the name? Okay, the name, where I have been, oh, I've been lost. So here I want this as boolean, and here I want this guy as a callback unexpressed, and here I want this guy as unexpressed, right? And here we can totally remove the state from all these. Oh my god, boy, I said boolean, it is an integer. And even now we can have back our preview, right? So having preview is always the best practice. It makes everything, what, material theme, don't put it like this, please. Please show me something, sake of God. Oh, there is something wrong here. Tutorial, yes. This is also fixed. Let me go and see. Yes, we have the preview. Let me also check if the code is working or not. Yes, perfect. Press the back button. Amazing. That's it. I wanted to explain this indicator as well, but it is gonna take more time, so it's already, the video is too much. Let's do it in the next video. So thank you so much for watching. See you in the next video.